As the flagship model in the Infiniti portfolio, the QX80 is without a doubt the most important vehicle in their North American lineup. Now, last year we saw Infiniti give us an all-new third generation, and for 2026 they are expanding the QX80 family with this model. This is the first ever QX80 Sport. It gets a unique look on the outside, some unique trimmings on the inside, and it just gives it a much more dynamic and aggressive design. So today we're actually out here in a studio in West Hollywood, California, previewing the all-new QX80 in the sheet metal. So now that we're doing so, let's go ahead and take a detailed first look. Now, before we start talking about the unique styling of the QX80 Sport, let me first remind you guys what's going on underneath the hood. Now, last year when they introduced the all-new third generation, Infiniti made a huge change. They replaced the naturally aspirated V8 engine, of course, with this new engine. It's a 3.5-liter gasoline direct injection twin-turbo V6. It's part of the VR35DD-TT engine family, an engine that it actually shares the block with the Nissan GT-R. And here in the QX80 Sport, it makes the same power as the other trims, 450 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. It all goes out through a 9-speed automatic transmission, and of course this vehicle comes standard with the company's full-time four-wheel drive system, which again is what most people are looking for in this particular segment of vehicle. Now, fuel economy is pretty impressive, although not as good as some of its hybrid or diesel counterparts or competitors. It's rated at 16 in the city, 19 on the highway. It has roughly a 24-gallon fuel tank, around 400-ish miles of range. That is, of course, on premium gas. Towing capacity is also pretty strong at up to 8,500 pounds. And curb weight, Infiniti didn't really talk about the exact curb weight of this trim, but I would estimate it's probably around the 6,000 pounds that you associate with all the other different trims for this vehicle. Overall, it has pretty strong performance, but if you guys are looking for an electrified hybrid, Infiniti doesn't offer one, at least not at the moment. But let's go ahead and close up the hood here and talk about the exterior styling. Now, when we first saw the all-new QX80 last year, I was a big fan of the design. It was based off of the QX monograph concept that they showed a couple of years ago, and it certainly starts a new design language for Infiniti, but there are also some key differences here on the Sport trim. You can see the grille has a unique finish to it. It's got that big illuminated Infiniti logo in the center, and then of course there's kind of like the blacked out smoked chrome in the actual grille as opposed to the brighter chrome that you see on other trims. The headlights, you can see, have that trendy divorce look where you have the different lighting element here for the daytime running light, which is also the turn signal. And then down here, you actually have the LED low and high beams. No fog lights on this particular vehicle, but you can see with the front fascia on the Sport, you get a more aggressive front splitter, which, by the way, this is actually a gloss black for the splitter, which you'll be able to notice more if you guys have it on a different color. As you can see, this Obsidian black test car has that really nice Sinister blacked out look, but I would love to see this car in white. Infiniti, I believe, also offers it in a gray exterior color, and you can also get it with a two-tone black roof on certain color combinations as well. Now, moving around the side profile, you can see this is their flagship vehicle, but Infiniti only offers it in one particular size. So at around 211 inches long with a 121-inch long wheelbase, this is pretty much the same length as the other trims. It's pretty much as well the same size as like a Cadillac Escalade, the short wheelbase version. The wheels, as you can see, are unique to the Sport, and I actually really like the look of them. First of all, it's got an adaptive air suspension, which can raise and lower the car either 2 inches up or 2 inches down. These are a 22-inch wheel, which kind of has like a Y-spoke, 6-spoke design for the wheel. I also love how it's gloss black with the outer lip being kind of like this bright machine look. It's riding on a 275 by 50 R22 tire. I actually really appreciate how Infiniti didn't feel the need to do like a 24-inch wheel like some competitors. This will help to preserve the ride quality. And again, with the adaptive air suspension, it should give this car a really nice ride and handling balance. Now, looking at the rest of the profile, this vehicle is very boxy, as you can see, and I also really like the pop-out door handles. It's a unique design feature that's not included on this car's platform rate, the Armada. You also get a panoramic glass roof along with these gloss black roof rails that are low aerodynamic in its design. And then there are some elements here from the autograph that they took. You can see there's kind of like that black chrome feature here, although it doesn't have the autograph lettering, but Infiniti basically said this trim is going to replace the Sensory trim for now. So it's based off the Sensory with its own unique Sport accents, which, as you can see, most people actually really liked, at least Infiniti tells us, most people really liked the autograph look. So you kind of have that carried over here onto the Sport. Now, looking at the rear, you can see the taillight design is very distinctive, and you also have this really pronounced rear spoiler with the integrated third brake light. The rear wiper actually tucks in underneath here, which gives it a nice clean look. And I think Infiniti said there were like over 300 individual LEDs for this kind of full-length LED light bar, which again makes it look very premium, very distinctive. The badging back here is also blacked out. There's a QX80S badge here to let everybody know you have the sportier trim. That badge right there is for four-wheel drive. It's a really interesting look for a four-wheel drive badge, but as you can see, there's a lot of beautiful metallic fleck in the color. The rear bumper also is a little bit more aggressive, but I would have liked to see Infiniti do like a dual exhaust system in this car. It's kind of just tucked underneath here. Again, kind of giving it that cleaner design. And then looking at the cargo area, this is a big body-on-frame SUV, but because of the independent rear suspension, it actually has a pretty good amount of cargo space, around 22 cubic feet with the third row seat up. You can see the vehicle is wide enough to seat 3 people across. There's also an underfloor storage here, which is nice. If you lift that up, you can actually find the jack for the vehicle, so there is a spare tire. You don't have to deal with a fix-a-flat kit. And then if you want, you can also push this button here, it'll fold down the seats electrically, which it comes standard with. So when you fold down the seats, Infiniti says you get around 59 cubic feet of space. And then when you fold down everything, including the second row, you get up to 101 cubic feet of space. So that is a pretty healthy amount, much more versus what Lexus offers in like an LX 700H, for example. However, if you're comparing it to like an Escalade or a Yukon or a Grand Wagoneer, the Infiniti has about 10 to 20 cubic feet less of total cargo space. Now moving on to the interior of the first ever QX80 Sport. As you can see, I hope you guys like a dark interior, and because this trim only comes with this kind of new dusk blue interior color combination. This is exclusive to the Sport trim, but it also has some of the upgrades that we saw from the Autograph trim. Because you can see it's got that wraparound speaker over the headrest. This is part of their 24 speaker Klipsch audio system. This looks really fancy. It also sounds incredible if you guys are an audiophile. These seats adjust in 14 different ways. They are heated, ventilated, and massaging. So that's going to be standard equipment on all the Sport trims. And as you can see, the rest of the dash has their newest infotainment layout. It certainly makes a great first impression, especially if you guys are really into technology. Now let me go ahead and hop inside. You can see the running boards help shorter people like myself get in. There's a nice grab handle here. And remember, you can adjust the suspension to go up and down based on when you have the vehicle parked. As I shut the door has a really solid sounding thunk. And you know, if you guys have been inside the interior of the new QX80, this is gonna feel pretty familiar. Aside from the seat color, it's pretty much standard stuff here as the Century. In terms of the materials, you have really nice soft touch leather on the upper portion here. You have this really nice black ash open pore wood, which is genuine with some aluminum trim, nice padded leather here. Window controls are one touch for all four, so that's what you'd expect from a flagship luxury brand. And I actually really like the steering wheel. It's a two-spoke design. I feel like a lot of brands are doing the two-spoke design. Really nice fat rim as well, a nice 9-3 grip. Good materials. You have some of these buttons here to control the 14.3 inch, the dual 14.3 inch displays. You also have a power tilt telescoping wheel, along with paddles to control the 9-speed transmission. And this trim also still gives you a heads-up display. That's something that I was expecting them to kind of reserve for the Autograph, so it's nice how it's included here. And then as you can see here, with their dual 14.3 inch displays, this is a touchscreen. It has Google built in, it has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. As you can see, somebody's phone is connected. It looks fantastic here. The screen itself has this really beautiful like graphic behind it where you can actually change that to vary based on the time of the day, which is something that we first saw last year when this car was first introduced. More of that wood trim here. You have 64 different colors of ambient lighting for this vehicle, which again helps you with creating this really cool ambiance at night. And if you push a button here, you can see there's your full around view camera system. That's actually standard equipment on every version of the QX80. So again, expensive luxury SUV, you kind of expect it to have those features. You also have a really cool ultra wide view where you can actually, you know, make the view expand into the driver's instrument panel display, which I can't do right now because the car has to be in gear and has to be turned on. But again, it kind of gives you an invisible hood view. It's one of the segment exclusive features, although technically Nissan also offers it on the Armada. In terms of the rest of the dash materials, beautiful leather with contrast stitching. Of course, this feels really high quality, which I love. And then unlike the Armada, this vehicle also has a separate 9-inch display here in the center, which allows you to basically control the climate control functions. Remember, it's got 3-zone climate control. You can also go into your drive mode selector here and switch between, it looks like 6 different drive modes, along with adjusting the air suspension, adjusting the 4-wheel drive system. No low range transfer case. That's something you're gonna get on the Armada, but not on the Infiniti version of this car. And then you can see here more leather and big storage areas here. You have a wireless phone charging pad here. You have cup holders here, nice padded leather armrests here. And if you open this up, you can see it's pretty deep in terms of the additional storage. Although some competitors offer an actual in-console refrigerator. I don't remember if off the top of my head Infiniti offers that. These seats are also really comfortable and supportive. These are the semi-aniline seats, but not the extra soft premium semi-aniline in the autograph trim. But as you can see, they, like I said earlier, heated and ventilated and massaging. And then if you look at the glove box here, you can see it's a bin style, it's damped, it's huge, also gives you additional storage. There's also additional storage down here if you want to hide a couple of items as well. And then above me, you can see big panoramic sunroof, which also opens up to vent air. There's a nice woven material on the headliner, along with having some more LED map lighting in here. So it's all, standard stuff that you expect. So really, if you guys like the Sensory trim from last year, you're gonna like the Sport trim. Just remember, you have to be okay with this kind of dusk blue color because there's no other color combination available on the Sport trim. But let's go ahead and hop into the backseat area. I can show you guys that space really quick. Now, as you can see, this model here comes with the captain's chairs. You can get a bench seat for increasing the seating capacity up to 8 on other trims, but in this particular configuration, these seats are also power adjustable. They are heated and ventilated, which is nice, but remember, you have to go for the autograph trim if you want the massaging second row seats. That's one of the unique features on the Infiniti version that Nissan doesn't offer on the Armada. Now, getting inside, as you can see, lots of space back here, and once I climb in and shut the door, it has that same solid thunk. And I also love the fact that how these are power adjusting seats. You don't really expect to find that. They don't adjust for height, but they obviously adjust for the recline and for moving it forward and back. There's also an armrest here that folds down. The fact that you have your own climate control functions along with heated and cooled seats back here is a really nice touch. Especially on this trim, you have 2 USB-Cs. You have around 39.5 inches of legroom back here with a nearly flat floor for the center. Over there, you have 2 storage cubbies, additional center console area here with 2 more USBs. And then in terms of the headroom space, I have maybe a solid 1.5 inches, 2 inches of clearance. The sunroof does take up a little bit of space. You also have rear seat air vents located in the ceiling. So the only thing this car is missing that I noticed is there's no retractable sunshades. For this price point, I expected this car to have it. It doesn't even have it, I believe, on the autograph trim. So that's something that I think Infiniti needs to eventually offer. Now, getting into the third row for this vehicle, it actually has a really nice feature where you basically push the forward button and hold it until it beeps, and the seat will essentially just electrically move forward. Now, it's not quite as quick as what you find on the Armada because it's a manual system, but it's nice how it gives you that option to kind of slide the seat forward. As I get back into the third row area, as you can see, at 5'7", you'll want to adjust this headrest up. There's actually a pretty good amount of space, around 32.9 inches of legroom, along with, I could say, an extra inch of clearance for headroom space. You still have third row air vents. You also have a power recline function for the third row because they're power folding. I love these big windows back here as well to help people feel less claustrophobic, especially if you don't like sitting in the back seat area. There's a USB-C back here, which is nice. And Infiniti does offer a heated third row. However, it's not available on this trim. You have to go to the fully loaded autograph trim to get that. Now, last year in America, Infiniti managed to sell a little over 10,000 units for the all-new third-generation QX80. They are continuing to build sales momentum, and I wouldn't be surprised to see their sales numbers eventually double because this model is definitely one of my favorite in terms of the premium flagship 3-row luxury body-on-frame SUVs. It's kind of the underdog, I think, because Infiniti delivers essentially some of the best technology, a really nice driving dynamic. It's got a sweet twin-turbo V6, and with the addition of the Sport trim, it's definitely going to attract a slightly edgier, maybe younger buyer. I think that's exactly what they were trying to do. In fact, if you're looking to get your hands on the all-new QX80 and the Sport trim, you're going to have to wait until the end of this summer, and the company wasn't ready to talk about pricing just yet. In fact, the current QX80 got a pretty big price jump from the redesign, around $8,000 more versus the previous generation. But with the discontinuation of the Sensory trim, I would probably estimate that this model will come in a little bit higher than the Sensory, because remember, the base pure version is around $82,000 plus destination. The luxury trim was around $92,000. The Sensory for 2025 was around just over 100 grand, while the autograph was around 110,000. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this model probably priced a little over $100,000. It does have some extra features here to kind of warrant having the increase in the price tag. And to be honest, you don't necessarily need to spend the extra 10 grand to go for the autograph trim unless you really want the heated third row and the second row seats that are also massaging. For me personally, I think this is going to kind of hit the sweet spot for Infiniti, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the new Sport trim become the best-selling trim in the QX80 family. But with all that said, hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on the brand new 2026 Infiniti QX80 Sport. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.